Welcome to Impromptu Mindfulness by the Workin Joes.
Hi everyone, I am Amanda. I am 25. This is my last semester here at Chandler Gilbert. I already have my associates in arts, but I will be getting my bachelor's in communications at Grand Canyon University starting in the spring. I played the role as our team leader, obviously because of my work background with working with small groups with the Arizona Coyotes. So that led me to kind of help organize us and get us going.
Hello, my name is Quinn Young. This is my second to last semester at Chandler Gilbert before I get my AA. After this, I'm going to NEU to get my bachelor's in mathematics. But we all need to communicate, so that's why I'm here. I've also somehow become the tech wizard of the group, making sure that we all get onto our group calls and access all of our documents and files and all that good stuff, just because I'm good at that sort of thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hi, my name is Celeste Kimberlin. I'm 24 years old. This is also my last semester at Chandler Gilbert. I was in accounting and then I switched my degree over to communications. My role in this group was to be the editor, and I caught on to spelling errors and any grammatical errors that we might have missed.
Hey everyone, I'm Jacob, and I am the head of research department within our group. And much like Amanda and Celeste, this is my last semester at Chandler Gilbert, and I've really enjoyed my time here. But I'm ready to start my next chapter at ASU, and my major is communications. But I have switched it a couple times in the past, kind of bounced around, but I found my home with communications and look forward to continuing with it.
Hello, my name is Karina Gomez. This is my first year at Chandler Gilbert. My major is chemistry. I work at McDonald's, so working in a drive-through, you have to go really fast, so that's why I was coordinated to be the time manager. And so how we operate it, between all our skills, because we we are a very diverse group. Uh, our meetings were in our meetings. We did have a set time to be or where we were at, and we meted at that time, and we listened to each other each time, and we tried not to interrupt. And if we did, of course, we would be polite and let everyone have a chance to speak. We also were very respectful of each other because once we got to know each other, we liked each other, I guess. That's all.
So the next couple of slides, we're going to talk about our journey together as a group, from where we started in the forming group, how we moved into storming, how our group went to the norming stage, normalizing everything, and then of course performing and all the tasks that came about from this awesome group.
The first stage is the forming stage. We were created by the one and only Aaron Sanchez. And right off the bat, we kind of just sat and discussed about what our pet peeves were from different groups, whether it be where someone ends up with all the work or there's not a lot of communication going on. And with the help of Amanda, we were able to make a calendar of where our schedules were so that we could create a day in the week where we spent quality time with each other and got to know each other. We also established kind of like a code of conduct where we dictated like acceptable and expected behavior of the group.
once we kind of got into our group, we entered our storming stage, which sometimes can be a little awkward, but for us, we really fell into each of our roles and found a way to really mesh quite nicely. We got to know each other pretty quickly. We were very open and capable of sharing our opinions and our feelings about all our different assignments. And meeting every week, like all of our awkward stuff were knocked out in our first 2 meetings. So we're like, oh, next week we'll just go over new stuff and really focus on getting our work done and collaborating and staying on task. It was all very good. And once we sort of got to know each other and are working well, we started entering the norming stage.
So during the norming stage is kind of when we started to gain some chemistry as a group and working well together. So our group contract set a standard for communication, and really with that, our main communication was interacting on when we all be available to meet. So we did that primarily through an availability calendar where we all just put whenever we'd be available and kind of tell when it would be a good time for everyone. And we also had to communicate on our individual part of an assignment and make sure that just letting the other roommates know where we're at and how we're doing and when we should be finished with it, and also communicating with each other to make sure everyone understands is on the same page and is getting their stuff done, which leads to commitment. And we had to make sure that this group project was our number one commitment when it comes to our schooling. So we had to put this above any other work we had in any other classes or anything like that to really gain trust and show that we were reliable and able to do our part. So in our weekly meetings, we got to know each other and kind of found out what roles would work well for the group. And these weren't like necessarily assigned. They more kind of, we slowly started to naturally fall into our roles, and we kind of formed from there what our role was and what we thought would be best for the group, rather than it kind of just being established off the bat.
So onto our performance stage. This was our main stage of where we were at in our group. We started our social media campaign all together, and honestly, it was like pretty good because we already got to know each other and we were already meshing well, like through our conversations. There was very little tension, so that's why we moved on to the performance stage pretty early on. We got great feedback, and we gave feedback, and everyone just was focused in our group because we knew that everyone needed each other. And so we had a weekly routine for our meetings to work on group assignments and our projects as well.
Now, when it came to our campaign, as you can tell, we have a 3-to-1 male to female ratio, or sorry, a 2-to-3 male to female ratio. The boys have been excellent, and they kind of went with what we were thinking, just because, we went off of experience. Like, we picked what we were going to do, we picked who we were going to reach out to, and it just made sense. So as you can see, we did the impromptu mindfulness, and we, as Bree has said, we didn't have any conflicts. It was very easy, and when it came down to it, is we all have a similar lifestyle. We all work, we all go to school, we all have those days where we just need to sit down and just kind of relax. So that's kind of where we got the idea from. So as you can see, we have a woman, and then the font we picked because the cursive kind of shows the flow and everything, and then the circle around the girl is a representation of trying to find your center and how it's all full circle. If you can find, your peace, your mindfulness, then the rest of your life will kind of keep going.
Aside from our main final project together. We had many projects this semester that we were able to work as a tight-knit group and get to know each other a little bit better and use our different communication techniques that we had learned this semester.
So first up, we had our Inamoto video. This is kind of where we came together and we came up with our group name, the Workin Joes. So again, we all have very busy lives. We all are full-time employees while also being students. And then, so that kind of made sense, the whole working part. We got to know each other, share where we worked, our experiences, which was kind of fun to kind of get the conversations going. And then Joe's is actually a reference to coffee. We all enjoy coffee, which is kind of nice because not everybody does. And we all got to know each other. I know personally I like a nice iced vanilla, iced coffee, and whether it's cold or hot, I enjoy coffee in general. It's my life source, and so it was kind of an easy flow to kind of learn about, each other, and then making the video was very easy. And again, it just kind of helped get conversations flowing and help us become a better group dynamic.
So for our group contract, which we started at the beginning of our forming and norming stage, we all had in mind our past experiences in group interactions where one member was taking all of the workload or more of the workload than the other. So we tried to focus on making sure that we divvied up the work equally. We need to make sure that everyone was attending those meetings so that they could get the work they need to get done. We need to make sure everybody was able to meet at the same time. So we set a weekly meeting that originally was on Tuesdays, but then shifted to Wednesdays because our schedules shifted. We wanted to make sure that everybody was 100% doing their part, all assignments, so that we're staying on point and we're not wasting time. We're getting it all done. We're all committed to it. And really, we just wanted to make sure that we had some rules to follow so that we could keep everybody accountable while we were in this group environment.
So our main group project was creating a social media campaign, which we created Impromptu Mindfulness, which encourages its followers, who we primarily targeted women around the ages 18 to mid-30s, and the focus was to focus on themselves and try to reduce their stress levels. So how we did this was through interactive activities where we would kind of give the prompt and they would do the activity themselves. And we campaigned primarily on Instagram, and through our interactive posts, we spread positivity, self-awareness, and mindfulness. So before we would make any posts, we'd all elaborate with each other and communicate with each other and kind of go over it together and work on it all together to kind of hit all bases that we want to touch and just make it as good as we can. And although we didn't get a ton of followers or a ton of interaction, the interaction that we did get and the feedback we did get was really positive. The people really seemed to like it, so I think we did a good job.
So obviously when it came to our posts on Instagram, we wanted to keep it light and airy. As you can tell, we have lots of different pink tones in our posts, along with neutrals. It kind of keeps it a nice mellow tone, as well as making our feed nice and beautiful. We had a nice checkerboard effect going to kind of keep it pleasing to the eye. So we would post our prompt, and we usually put something kind of cute in there. For one of ours, I put like, today is your journey time, pour yourself a drink, draw yourself a hot bath, and write your heart out. We wanted to, again, keep it light, keep it positive. We used multiple hashtags in order to bring in other viewers, which actually ended up helping us a lot. And then to keep with that checkerboard effect on our feed, we would post a photo primarily of nature, again, wanting to keep, that open air kind of feel to the whole feed and dynamic of it. And then we would always post a quote. So it's always something positive. One of my favorites is you should feel beautiful and you should feel safe. When you surround yourself with should bring you peace and mind and peace of spirit. Stacy London, like again, we're keeping that whole dynamic of forgetting about the outside world, taking a second for yourself, and just writing about you and just your goals and things that you love and all of that good stuff.
Our first major project was the zombie project. The zombies are coming. We are in an apocalypse. We had to decide whether we wanted to save some people or not save some people. We did have a couple disagreements when it came to the zombie apocalypse on who we should save. So what we ended up doing was like saving those for later and then coming back to it to have more of like a fresh view of the candidates at stake. But in all, we figured out who the best people were and we saved the human race from zombies. Thank you to John.
But
Obviously, when it came down to the final project itself of presenting this to you, when it came to the paper, we all decided. Quinn, of course, our tech guy, had made a spreadsheet of all the questions that needed to be answered. Our first meeting that week, we all kind of went through and did quick answers just off the top of our head. And then the second time we all met again, we all went together through the whole paper, went more in depth. We asked each other, hey, does this sound right? Hey, does this look good? Keeping us on time with Bree's job, just making sure, hey, we got to get this done. And then, of course, we had Jacob who came in, made sure that everything we were, using the book as our resource and going back to all the pages and remembering what we've learned and going through all of the presentations just to make sure we reference as much as we could. And then, of course, Celeste swooped in as our editor and made sure that grammar was correct. Together, we worked on making sure that we were in APA format, that it looked correct. And I think that we did pretty well with that. The whole concept, I think, was very strange to all of us to do a paper together and not split it and then come together like we had done in the beginning with our um, when we had presented what we were going to do for our campaign. So it was very interesting, and I think at the same time it was a great learning experience, definitely for the rest, for me, and I know probably for everyone else in my group. And then, of course, this presentation, we did the exact same planning. We started simple. Quinn came in, set it up. We all just kind of quickly typed it through, and then we perfected it as we went along. And then making sure that we had the right amount of bullet points versus fun photos. Of course, we have a little meme here and there to kind of keep it lighthearted for 2020. But other than that, I think our group project came together pretty well.
yeah.
As of what we could have done better, I personally think we did well. What about you guys?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that we did really good. We all worked really well together. We found our roles and kind of stuck with what we knew and what we did the best. Um, and we paved a pretty straight path to getting everything done. The path was efficient. It was good. It was all very good.
I think like given the circumstances, I don't know about you guys, but I was supposed to be in like an in-person class, and so having to like meet people on a Zoom call, get to know people online, and then like create our final online, I think we did pretty well.
I think we worked really well together. Like I said, I think we had good group chemistry, and really meshed well together and got along well. All worked hard. All showed that we were giving our full effort to the group, and overall, I think we did really well.
Bree, any final last words?
Honestly, we all really meshed together really well, as Jacob said. We didn't really have that many problems. It was just, I guess, communication. Haha. That was our biggest factor that we actually did get better at because we just talk more, I guess, now.
Yeah, I agree. That's good.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you for everything. Yeah, it's great.
Thanks, everybody.
Happy holidays.